Hey y'all, it's Betsy from Cuttin Corners Vinyl in Nederland, Texas, and today we have a fun video for you. We are going to go over the truth of Cricut Infusible Ink. But first I want to give a big shout out to today's video sponsor, Volusion. Now y'all know I don't do a whole lot of sponsored videos, but I love working with Volusion. I've had my business e-commerce website with them for over 2 years. A lot of people think getting into web-based business or e-commerce store is really expensive and difficult, but let me tell you, with plans starting at $29 a month and 24/7 US-based customer service, Volusion is neither. They have plug-and-play websites where you just drop your pictures, put in your info, and you're up and running. I will leave a link in the description box and in the pinned comments, and if you use the code Betsy, you will save 50% off of your first month's subscription. Go check them out and you will see why I trust my business to them. Remember, click the link, use the code Betsy, and see how Volusion will help take your business to the next level. So first off, Cricut Infusible Ink is the exact same thing as dye sublimation. Dye sublimation is a process that uses a special ink, paper, and printers and substrates. And when I say the word substrates, I want you to know that I'm talking about coasters, mouse pads, t-shirts. It's all the things that you put the ink on. And to turn the ink into a gas and bond with the polymer in your substrate. And that is part of the reason why dye sublimation and Cricut Infusible Ink have to use a polyester shirt that is mainly polyester, because that is what it does. It opens up those fibers and inserts the ink in there with the gas, and then whenever it cools down, it closes those fibers so they can be put through the dishwasher, they can be put through the washing machine, they can be put through the dryer, and as long as your dye sublimation or Cricut Infusible Ink is installed correctly, it won't fade, it won't chip. So if you have a dye sublimation printer, you don't need the Infusible Ink. You can make all these prints yourself. But if you don't have a dye sublimation printer, you can purchase the substrates from anybody and use the Cricut Infusible Ink with it. So you can take and purchase blanks from Condi, which is one of my favorite websites, Sublimation 101, which is who I purchased my dye sublimation printer from. And right now, I think through today, if you use the code July 4, you save 10% off your blank items. Now, sublimation seems like it is very expensive to get into. My Sawgrass SG400 was $550. I purchased it from Sublimation 101 at the ISS show. Now, I know in a previous video I talked about sublimation, someone had spoke about they had an Epson printer that was converted to sublimation and it was only a couple of $100s. I don't want to recommend that to you because I haven't used it personally, but you can get into sublimation for rather inexpensive. The problem with the Sawgrass SG400 is the basic model that I purchased only prints 8.5 by 11. The Cricut Infusible Ink is 12 by 12. Now you can purchase either a roll sheet or an extendable tray that can up your printing capabilities to either 8.5 by 21 or 8.5 by 14. And if you upgrade to the SG 800, which is about $1,600, you can print up to 11 inches by 17 inches. But the nice thing about it is if you are using your sublimation substrates, your t-shirts, that type of thing, when you're using regular sublimation, you don't have to send it to cut because the letters will not show because it doesn't print white. So you don't have to sit there and cut and weed out all the excess. That is a thought for you. Plus the expense of the Cricut the Cricut Infusible Ink is rather expensive. All the stuff that I purchased for the Infusible Ink, which was 4 different sets of sheets, 3 shirts, 2 sets of coasters, a tote bag, 2 sets of markers. I think that's all I purchased, was about $170. So, I mean, I'm halfway to buying a printer there. So, just to kind of give you a heads up. Now, the Cricut Infusible Ink and dye sublimation will work both with the Caesar Easy Subli, so you can use it to make cotton shirts where it feels like your regular vinyl. You can also sublimate on glitter. So this is the Specialty Materials Glitter Flex Ultra. Give it a second, it will take and actually focus on this, and you can see it's got nice bright colors. This is the adhesive one. So it is still sticky after placing the sublimation ink on it, and this isn't going to fade, run, go anywhere. So you can use that to make your decals as well. And as far as Condi goes, like I know their coasters are like $1 or $1.50 each for the smallest quantity. So you're saving 75% off of the coasters by Cricut, because the Cricut coasters are $12.99 without tax. You can also buy stuff off of Amazon. I purchased a 10-pack of mouse pads off of Amazon. They were $12.99 for 10 of them, so super inexpensive. So you can search for sublimatable substrates on Amazon. And I want people to know all of the information before they jump in, because as I said, the Cricut Infusible Ink is a very expensive product, and I want to make sure that people know that if they already have sublimation, that this is the exact same thing. Now, I had a lot of people telling me, oh, you can't use parchment paper with dye sub or Cricut Infusible Ink. You can. You can use parchment paper, you can use butcher paper, you can even use plain copy paper. They're all made to take the heat. They won't sit there and ruin your project. They're not gonna melt to your shirts, just so you know. And you can purchase parchment paper sheets off of Amazon, super inexpensive. You can purchase, I think, like 100 sheets for 10 bucks. And I constantly reuse them. If they don't dirty or they're not crispy yet, I will constantly reuse them. Now, I don't think that Cricut Infusible Ink is a bad product. I don't want it to seem like I think it's a bad product. I just think it's extremely and very, very expensive. And one of the things I pride my channel on is being extremely honest and open with you guys about how these things work. So, we are going to be doing some more comparison videos between sublimation and the Cricut Infusible Ink, but I wanted to get this video out there so y'all would have all the info in front of you before you made a decision. Because, you know, it hasn't been at Michael's very long, and I needed time to test it out before I said yay or nay or explain to you exactly how it worked. With that being said, don't forget to check us out on all of our social medias, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram. Ask your questions down below about Cricut Infusible Ink, about dye sublimation, and we will definitely be looking at those questions to make sure we answer them in upcoming videos. Don't forget, tomorrow is our live video day. We post new videos every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. On Saturdays and Sundays, we do bonus content. Sundays, if I do something, it's typically makeup related. Don't forget to, well, I think that's it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We post a lot of new content and we try to keep everybody well informed. But I guess that's it, so we'll see you on the next one.